Hello and welcome to another episode of Alex's Notes from the Middle. I am your host, Alex Light, and I am so happy and grateful that you're here today. I woke up this morning after having incredibly vivid dreams last night, and I needed to get this out. So I'm actually like, I have a lot of feelings, and that's good. We should be feeling a lot of feelings, and we should be, expressing those, and so today is that day for me to be like, okay, let's talk about my dreams last night. So I'm not talking about what your dream in life. I'm talking about those vivid overnight dreams where during that time your spirit guides can talk to you and things. And mine absolutely was speaking through my dreams last night. And I woke up anxious, but not in a bad way. I woke up anxious because I have this desire and this want to be greater and this desire to do more and try harder. And then there's a part of my brain that fights with that. And I was told yesterday that I don't give myself enough credit. So this is me giving myself the credit that I know that I deserve and speaking positively about myself instead of speaking so negatively without realizing I'm speaking negatively. Because remember, I always say, speak kindest to yourself. Apparently, I'm a do as I say, not as I do person as of late because I have not been speaking very nice to myself. And we're working on it, fam. We're absolutely working on it. So I had a dream that I was going to be a keynote speaker at this event. And I was incredibly well known, and celebrities were showing up to my keynote speak, which I know, right? How cool would that be? So Emma Watson was there, and some things had happened where I didn't plan. I didn't plan what I was doing well enough, and I was supposed to plan this whole the whole event for myself. So I wasn't even a keynote speaker. I was the event. People were coming to the event to watch me speak and this and that, and I had not planned anything at all. I had sort of kind of known what I was going to say, but I hadn't put in the work to actually do it. And hours went by and I had forgotten something. And then I'm walking down the hall. Orlando Bloom was there. I know. Yeah. Anyway, Orlando Bloom was there, and he and I were friends, I guess. I don't know. That's not the important part. That's not the important part. But I had not planned at all what I was going to say, what I was going to do. I just invited a bunch of people. Sold it hey, this is going to happen today. Come watch me speak, support me, blah, blah, blah. But then I didn't support myself. I didn't support my own want to do that. And I think, so in the end, sorry, let's go back. In the end, we go back to this gazebo thing. And all of a sudden there's another speaker in there. And I see some people from my friend group up watching this other speaker, and they were supposed to be watching mine, but I didn't do what I was supposed to do when the other speakers did what they were supposed to do. And so we had to go find this random conference room thing, and we had to go find this random conference room, and then only 10 people ended up showing up when I invited well over 50, and they were all there, but they had left because I wasn't ready yet. So I was making these people wait for hours to come see me speak, and I wasn't prepared at all and made them wait so long. And I think that when I think about how I feel on the inside and how I've been feeling, I talked about imposter syndrome of a few weeks ago, that I get to a point where I don't believe in myself to the point where like I stop trying. And how crazy is that? Like this, if something is your dream and something is what you want to do, why are you getting to the point where you're not even trying? So I've like not, this is the third time that I have said this. Um, but I have like kind of lost a little bit of drive to do these, and I don't know why, because it's what I want to do. It's what I have desired to do for a long time, and I think there's a something in my head that's like, no, you don't need to do that. You know, you're having no success, you're this, you're that, and like talking really negatively towards myself. And I know so many of us are guilty of it, but why am I not like, where's that desire to want to keep going? Where's that desire to want to keep thriving in this? Because I love doing it. And enough people are like, oh my God, I watch. Thank you, by the way, so much for watching. And thank you so much for listening now that I'm on Spotify. But I think I just lost the belief in myself that I'm worthy of doing this. And that doesn't make sense to me also, because I'm like, I'm perfectly capable of doing this, but I'm like losing this drive to want to. And I kind of lost, I like over time, I kind of lose drive in other things. And I know it's like partially depression. I do. I understand that and I see that, but I need to do what I need to do to work towards healing that and thriving at what I'm doing. Like I have so many tasks on my list that wouldn't take me long at all to do. And I'm always doing something else. I don't know if it's a fear of failure or it's a fear of, excuse me, if it's a fear of failure or if it's a fear of belief in myself. I just woke up. And so I woke up, got ready quick, and I'm like, I need to get this out now. Like I need to process this and get this out because it clearly is bothering me that I came home that I was home yesterday and Wednesday and Thursday, and instead of working on my podcast or instead of doing one of my projects that I have to do, like I have a chandelier over there that's torn apart and all I need to do is paint it. That's literally all I need to do. And I'm like losing my drive to like paint that or eat. It's like, okay, well, I have some things that I want to sell. Where's the drive to just post that? It's not hard work. It's not hard at all. It's really easy. Am I like, no, I'm not doing that. And I can't force myself to do it. And it's driving me crazy because I don't understand why I can't. Like, I know I can, but my brain, I come home and it's like, no. You're not going to. I could have so many things in my life complete and done if there wasn't this like thing inside of me that's like, no, you're not going to do that. And some people would call it laziness. Like there's some people from other generations that will be like, well, you're just lazy. It's really, truly not laziness. I have this like want to do it. I just like struggle with doing it. Like I can't explain something I don't understand myself because I've always had really big dreams and I've always had really big aspirations for my life. And over the years, those have started to dwindle because I've had this same problem constantly. It's like I have this like inability to focus on these things, and I'm like, I want to do it so bad. I want to. I want to go to the gym and work out. And then all of a sudden I'm like incapable of getting out of bed. And it's like, another day has passed. Now we're in the end of July. We're already way over halfway through this year. And I still really struggle. Like, by the time I post this, August will be 2 days away. And I still have not accomplished the things that I wanted to accomplish by this point in time. Like, the amount of things I have not accomplished by this point in time has like really been weighing on me. And I don't know why I'm not just doing it. And I wish I had an answer. I really do wish I had an answer for myself. And I wish I had an answer for all of you, but I don't, because I know I'm not the only person out there that's like this. I really, truly do. I have talked to so many people that struggle with the exact same things that I'm struggling with. And it's always just written off as laziness. And it's not laziness. I don't know if it's part of me doesn't want me to be great. If I like fear greatness and I fear succeeding. Because what happens after you succeed? Most people would be like, oh, I'm going to keep going, or I'm going to succeed at this thing. I have a freaking trophy up there from first place from a fitness competition. And I quit doing that. Like, clearly I'm capable of doing things. Clearly I'm capable. I have my certificate there. Clearly I'm capable. And I know I'm smart. And I know that I'm able. But this block in my head is like, no. Why? Why am I doubting myself so much? Why do I not believe in myself enough? I have other people in my life who believe in me and who know that I'm capable. I mean, Eric just told me that yesterday. You don't give yourself enough credit and you don't believe in yourself enough. No, I freaking don't. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Is it a fear of becoming? Is it fear of the unknown? I'm supposed to trust the universe. I tell myself all the time, and I have this belief inside of myself to trust the universe and know that it has me, and know that everything's going to be okay. And like, if I seek other things out, the worst answer I'm going to get is no. But why do I fear that? Why do I feel uncomfortable with that? Why do I doubt myself so much all the time? And when I started this, I was feeling on top of the world. I really was. I was like, oh my God, this is so great. I'm loving this. I'm going to do great at this. Like, I got all this excitement. And it's like everything I do is that way. Everything. I get so invested and so excited and so like, yes, I'm going to do this. And then I start like stepping back and I start fearing and I start doubting. And I don't know where that started in my life. I really don't. Like, I think back to when I was really young. Like, when I was in like elementary school young. And I was so vivacious And I was in like the third or fourth grade when we were doing these times tables. And I don't know why this is a core memory. I had a lot of stuff happen to me when I was a kid that I don't remember, but I remember going to school and there's these times tables. And I was the first person done with them every single time. I had them all done before everybody else did. Where'd that go? Do we just like over time beat ourselves down from mishaps and misfortunes, and then we start like doubting our worth and doubting our can-dos? Is it school that does it to us? Is it the education system here that does it, that makes us feel? Is it or is it the older generation, the generation that's older than us? It's like, well, this is how we live, so you guys have to live that way too, because I know there's a lot of people guilty of that. And I've talked to other people of that, where it's like, you have to just stop saying you're not working hard enough, you're lazy, you're this, you're that. We're fucking tired, guys. Like, my brain can't. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I really don't. And I want to find out what it is. And I know that I, like many others, suffer from ADHD. There's a good chance that part of me is on the spectrum with autism. I mean, I see the way that my kid talks and the way that he communicates and all these different little intricacies. And I'm like, oh, I have some of those. So is it that? Is it, I don't know. Is it that we were like, if you don't go to college and get a degree, then you will not succeed in life. And so if you're a person that didn't go and get a degree, maybe, I don't know. I have a lot of questions. And I've been like, I've also been craving like really deep conversation. And I feel like nobody is giving me this, like, I need to sit down and have a deep, deep conversation where I talk about how I'm feeling and they talk about how they're feeling. And we like really get these like deep seated feelings out and talk about the world and talk about like why we think things are the way they are. I do like to talk about history. I do like to talk about politics. I would love to sit down with somebody and actually have like these good, calm, deep, deep conversations. And it feels like nobody wants to have those anymore. And it's like this craving inside of myself where it's like, can somebody please sit down with me and talk with me? Like, me listen to you, you listen to me. I don't want to talk about other people. I want to talk about ideas. I want to talk about futures. I want to talk about the world. And I want to talk about big things. And I feel like everybody's so tired, nobody wants to do that anymore. I remember being in college and we would get stoned. And we would just talk about everything. Like, we'd just sit on the couch at my friend Holly's house and we would just talk for freaking hours. And we would listen to music and we would talk about the different artists and we would like break down the meanings of the songs and why we liked them and how they made us feel on the inside. And I don't know where those kind of conversations went. And I like crave them. And I thought about that this morning too. Like when I woke up from my dream, it's like, oh, I'm like craving like really deep conversation. I'm craving the conversation that like makes people uncomfortable, but makes them like requires them to be vulnerable. I have so many desires and so many things that I crave. And when I started doing my life coaching, when I was going through all the courses and stuff, we had those conversations all the time. Like we would have like group classes together once a week, and we would talk about those deep feelings. And I think that's part of me why I wanted to be a life coach in the first place, because I want to have these like deep conversations about what's in people's hearts. And I want to tell people what's on my heart. And maybe I thought that this would fill that gap and that desire to want to do that. But it doesn't, because I'm the only one talking. There's nobody returning in conversation with me. And I'm like missing this piece and this desire. And I've been reading a lot of things lately, philosophical things, talking about, you know, I know there's some people out there that don't believe in zodiac signs, that don't believe in the cosmos and the way it affects us, and excuse me. But it does. I mean, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It's just warped into a different kind of energy. And so I know that when I was born at a certain time, there was a certain energy in the world, right? So that certain energy in the world at that time affected my whole being and my whole self. And you can do those body graphs, and those body graphs like tell you all the different marks of everything that happened from the time and date you were born, where you were born, how that energy plays out. And one of the things it constantly says is that I thrive on deep conversation. I love deep conversation. I love talking. And I know that there are some people out there that are like, God, I just don't want to talk. I'm like, I get it. Some people talk all day, or some people are overwhelmed all day. And there's times I want to come home and I don't want to say anything. And there's people will send me text messages and I don't respond, because it's like I just don't have the energy to even check that message. And then over time, I started losing this desire. I started to lose this want to I started losing the want. So you have all seen me at my highest when I started this, and I was like, yes, I'm gung ho, I'm excited, this is happening. And now it's like starting to slowly go down. And I have like little peaks of like, wee, but then I have these deep thoughts, or I have these dreams, or I have certain things happen, or see certain things happen, and it makes me want to have the conversations it's not having, and then it starts weighing on me deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and it's like, ugh. I love talking about other cultures. I love talking about other cultures because I feel like I wasn't really raised in a culture. Like, I'm a blonde white woman from Iowa who's a Heinz 57 of all different kinds of places in Europe. And I don't really know, like, I don't have any deep-seated culture, you know? I don't have anything that, like, has been passed down from family, from family to family, from generation to generation. So I love, like, talking about other cultures and and getting to know other cultures and understanding other cultures and talking to people about that. I love talking about the earth and and like what can we do to help it? And I mean, Eric and I watched this documentary on regenerative farming a few weeks back, and it was like, I want to talk about that more. And I want to go and I want to have conversations with people about that more. And why aren't we doing that? And what can we do to like help there not be so much runoff in the rivers? And how can we help our water not be so poisoned all the time? And Iowa is the #1 cancer state. Like, what can we do to help that? And so I watched this documentary and it like blew my mind. And I'm like, I talk to farmers every day. Why wouldn't I tell the farmers about this? And would they believe it? And then I like get scared to say anything because I'm like, that's not a conversation for today. I'm at work. And I think about all these things all the time, and I want to talk politics with people. I want to talk about politics with people really bad. And I don't want to like talk about it in the way where I'm like, you're wrong, I'm right, or they're like, you're wrong, I'm right. I want to have deep, big feeling conversations about why I feel the way I feel, and them tell me why they feel the way they feel, and how can we see this middle ground? But that doesn't happen because I just ran across a guy's page where he was talking about offing people because they didn't believe what he believed. Because that's the culture we're in. And it makes me like scared to want to talk to people about it. And then I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm too much because this person and I have always just had surface conversations. So how am I supposed to have this deep rooted conversation? Like, this is what I read and this is what I've learned and this is what I want to do. And I think that it's starting to like really weigh on me. If you can't tell, I just ranted about it for 30 minutes. So clearly it's something that's actually really been weighing on me. I crave this deep connection with like somebody. And it's like, where is that? But I also, on the flip side, when I have met people like that, some people aren't able to turn it off and have the fun conversations. And because I am a Gemini, I want to have those deep-seated conversations, but I also want to like have fart jokes and I want to talk about silly things and I want to talk about like sports or, you know, just something silly and meaningless. But then sometimes I want to have deep-seated conversations. My nose is still dripping. I'm feeling a lot of feelings. But I want to have these big, deep conversations and these little silly conversations. And because sometimes these big, deep-seated conversations can get really exhausting. And I understand that. But also these little like, hey, how's your day? Like, how's the weather? They're very meaningless. They're meaningless conversations. It's a conversation I have with a customer that walks in the store that I see for 2 minutes and they leave. And then the next person comes in and I have the same conversation with that person and they leave. I don't want to have that conversation with everybody all the time. There's some people I want to have big conversations with, and it's like, it's not happening. And I know I talk a lot. I get it. I like to assess situations. So I'll like walk into a group and if it's a group I don't know very well, I'll like ask little conversation starters. Like, I'll like listen to things they say and be like, hey, did you know? And see how they react to it. And most of the time, people just look at me like, okay. It's like, oh, okay, so we're not having a conversation. You don't want to have a conversation with that. Yesterday, I heard somebody say something about peptides, and I take a peptide, and it helps with my inflammation and it helps with my arthritis. And I found out that they took the same one. So that was a conversation that was really nice to have, because they were like, well, how are you feeling? Like, how have you felt since you've started that? What changes have you noticed? And then we were able to talk about how we were feeling on the inside, like overall, how our body was feeling, and changes I have noticed and changes I hope that they notice. And that kind of conversation was really nice. It was really nice. So yes, I started this, and I remember in episode 1 that I had stated, I'm going to start this and I don't know where it's going to go. Like, I had this idea of like, every week I'm going to tell you, you need a dream. You need to follow your dreams. You need to do this. You need to do that. And now it's kind of developed into, here, this is how I'm feeling. Like, almost like a little therapy session for myself. But also, like, I'm hoping when I do these that it helps other people know that they're not alone in feeling the feelings they're feeling, and that it's okay to feel those feelings, and it's okay to be scared, and it's okay to not know what's going to happen, but to still know that you should believe in yourself and that you are worthy of everything. And I just, maybe saying that to you makes me realize, hey, I also need to feel that. Like, I've been stressed out enough this week that I have picked off most of my nail polish. That's why my nails are not painted right now, because I was just like feeling anxious and just picking. And I noticed that 2 days ago that I started picking my nail polish off. I noticed these feelings I was feeling this past week. I noticed how much everything is weighing on me. And it's like, oh, I'm like having really big feelings. I've been dreaming a lot. And so clearly the universe is like, you need an adjustment. You need to like express what you're actually feeling and what you actually want to say. And I want to have a conversation where people don't get offended and start yelling, and that feels few and far between anymore. And I know I can get worked up about things. I'm well aware I get worked up about things. I get excited. I have big feelings. I have big feelings about a lot of things. I have big feelings about this freaking humidity too. Whew. What do they say? It wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't for the humidity. Yeah. Anyway, this whole podcast episode stemmed from me saying I had a dream last night. And I had a dream that I failed because I didn't put in the work. And clearly it's saying you need to put into work. You need to start like knowing it's okay to put in the work. And if you do, great things will happen. And so I woke up and I was like, it's time to record this. It's time to record this. It's time to get it out. It's time to express these big feelings I'm having. And then all of a sudden it opens up to, oh my gosh, I want these conversations. Oh my gosh, I want this. Oh my gosh, I want that. And so it opened up. You can see the progression. Like, it opened up something inside of me. God, I'm really sick of service level conversations though. All right. before I go on another rant, I'm going to end today. Again, available on Spotify now, available on YouTube. I have my shirts for sale. I will create a new one. I'm not going to give myself a time limit, and I'm not going to promise you guys something. Because when I do that, it makes me panic. So I'm not going to do that today. But I do have shirts for sale. I did sell my first one last week, and it was a very exciting moment for me. It made me feel so good. And it means the world to me. It really does. There's so much that like makes me feel so grateful and so good. And I appreciate you all very much listening to me every week, listening to me rant. And if you are feeling the same feelings, you can email me, message me, Instagram, on Facebook. I put my email below. So anytime you want to talk, you can message me. I will tell you, if you email me, I am more an in-person person. I like to have in-person conversations, FaceTime conversations. I am not, let's email back and forth or let's text back and forth and talk about our feelings, because there is no emotion in that. So I like to hear the tone of somebody's voice. I like to see the expressions on their face. And so if you're like, hey, I have things I want to sit down and talk about, let's sit down and talk about them in person. I think that's always best. Whew. I haven't had my coffee yet because I literally woke up, got ready, and came up here and decided to record this. So I hope you all have a really great day. I hope that you find a way to express yourself from the things that you're holding back. I know that a big thing that I was told that I was holding back was my throat chakra, not speaking, not getting out what I need to get out, which makes sense because I've had like tension in this area. Your body doesn't lie to you. If you're feeling tension in a certain area and you're like, I don't know why I'm feeling like that, it's a block of some kind somewhere. Try to find it. Maybe that could be something we could talk about and we could find your block. I know what mine is. I know what my block is, and I just need to figure out how to get it out. And I think part of it I figured out today. You just talk through it. Like, hey, what's actually been bothering me for a while? Oh, okay. So, yeah. Wow. I'm going to go do something. I'm going to go do a task that I've been putting off. Here we go. Go do a task you've been putting off. Have a great day.